What's going on, you guys? I'm as always Mr. Grimreaper 2 with
Alpha Wolf.
You want to say the whole thing or just
Nah.
that? Okay, never mind. But anyway, so me and Alpha Wolf are gonna be giving you guys our review for Jurassic Park 3. First of all, before I start the video, I want to say I apologize that me and her never got a chance to do this review yesterday, due to some family problems and stuff like that were going on. From some family situations. But we are back and we're going to give you this review, and stay tuned because we got another review as well to give you guys. But before we move on, I'd like to say welcome to Jurassic Park week again. Okay, so today we are going to review Jurassic Park 3. Now, this film was directed by Joe Johnston. This film is based on characters by Michael Crichton, the guy who wrote the first film and also wrote the two novels as well. In this film, we see a returning Sam Neill, William H. Macy, Taya Leone, Alessandro Novello. I can't say. Trevor Morgan and Michael Jeter. And the person that's doing the music this time for the film is Don Davis, who's taken over for John Williams, which sucked. I like his music.
I don't even remember the music for this one. Or the second
I
one.
remember some of it. But okay, so in this one, by the way, spoilers. If you have not seen this movie,
when was this movie made?
This movie was made in 2001. So that was like what, 17 years ago. Mm-hmm. If you have not seen this movie,
you failed.
You have failed miserably. I'm not kidding with you. But okay, so here's the gist of the whole thing. Dr. Alan Grant returns back in the film. Also, Ellie Sattler returns as well in this film for like a short minute,
which is character.
Yeah. I wish they could have had her. Well, actually, you know what? It's not actually a cameo. It's actually
she shows up like twice.
Yeah, she shows up twice in the film. We'll talk about her scenes during this movie as the review goes on. Okay, so of course you know the gist. Alan Grant returns, and stuff like that. He is still haunted. I don't blame the guy. He's still haunted by the events that have transpired from the first film.
Mm-hmm. I think he's becoming like a speaker on the dinosaurs.
Yeah. He's a speaker. Someone, I guess, there's a scene in the movie where someone had asked him or something like that, would you go back to the island? Mm-hmm. Would you go back to the islands? And I know this is far-fetched. I know he didn't say this in the movie, but this is how I felt that he would have said it. Hell no. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, so the film begins with a 12-year-old little kid by the name of Eric Kirby, who, if I remember correctly, is played by Trevor Morgan. And I guess Taya Leone's boyfriend or something like that.
You gotta use like names in the movies. I don't know actors' names.
Well, anyway, Amanda's boyfriend or something like that. Name Ben Hildebrand. I believe that's the guy's name.
You don't gotta remember it. He dies anyway. He's like one of the first ones to die.
Yeah, they go on a okay, so apparently they go on a parasailing trip to Alasorna, which is a bad freaking idea because there's dinosaurs roaming that freaking island. The boat crew mysteriously disappears. And we see fog and all this stuff. Ben had to detach the line. Him and Eric drift towards the island on the mainland. Anyway,
they get stuck in a tree.
Yeah, they get stuck in a tree.
And
we come to realize that the crew is dead.
Of course. You're gonna be on an island with dinosaurs. Of course, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Especially when you have no names on screen.
Yeah. So okay. So we go back to Dr. Alan Grant, who has become famous, but I guess he doesn't like his fame that much because he's still haunted about the events that transpired from the first film.
Yeah, but he's still like obsessed with the real raptors and how they. This one is about how they could communicate with each other, but no one will believe them.
Yeah.
And then we see that they actually recreated a part of the raptor's, I guess, in its throat.
And his larynx.
Yeah, and it actually helped prove that they could communicate, which you see that later in the film as well.
Yeah, at a dig site where we see his assistant Billy. I'm not gonna say poor Billy because I hate. I'll get to that here in a little while.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna get to that here in a little while because me and you are probably gonna debate on that
here
in a little while.
Already.
But anyway, okay, so we see Paul and Amanda Kirby, who in retrospect, they're a good couple. Not really.
They're a divorced couple.
Who would put their son in harm's way that way? Like who is the brainchild of that situation?
Then again, you see in the next movie, Jurassic World, that a lot of people do that to their kids in that one.
Anyway,
we'll
talk about that. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we see Paul and Amanda Kirby, played by Taya Leone and William H. Macy, and they are wealthy, like many rich people. They offer Grant. They try to go the old Hammond way by offering Grant funding for his research and stuff like that.
Well, still not telling him what exactly they're going to be doing.
Yeah, so
they tell him that they're going to go on a
remind
tour.
you of anyone? Okay, so Grant is desperate for research funding and reluctantly agrees. Okay, there's one part I want to talk about. There's one part I want to talk about. It's the most hilarious part when they're on the plane. Remember? The nightmare? His nightmare? When he sees the raptor? You're looking at me funny. But anyway, okay.
I don't know.
Okay, there is a part where there is a nightmare. There's a nightmare scene in the movie where he is asleep. Where we see him. He's sitting down in the plane, and where Billy is supposed to be sitting, he sees a raptor.
And the raptor's talking to him.
And he wakes up. I thought that scene was hilarious. What did you think?
It was funny, man. I mean, obviously I had to remember it, but it was okay.
Okay, but anyway, okay, so Okay, so I guess on the plane, Grant learns that the Kirby's actually plan to land on the island. Grant opposes, which I can't blame him. Why would you? Okay, so when Grant opposes, he is knocked out by Cooper and wakes to discover they have landed. A Spinosaurus approaches the group, who board the plane to escape. Without waiting for Cooper, the Spinosaurus devours Cooper on the runway. That was the worst death ever.
No, it's not. Remember the mummy?
Oh.
The first one. The guy lost his glasses.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
And you could always die in the toilet, too. Like the other guy.
Okay, okay. Fleeing, the survivors briefly lose the Spinosaurus, but encounter a T-Rex. The Spinosaurus returns, but the group escapes while the two dinosaurs fight each other. The Spinosaurus winning by breaking the T-Rex's neck.
Which is not true. Realistically, Spinosauruses would have had very thin teeth, and that's why they were like fish hunters. They were pescatarians.
Yeah.
And they were a lot smaller than the T-Rex, with little stubby feet. And
were you happy that the T-Rex got killed?
I was happy to see a new dinosaur.
The Spinosaurus? Because I wasn't. I really wasn't. I really was not happy.
Because there are so many other dinosaurs out there that are so much better than T-Rex.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Grant, who was demanding the truth from the Kirbys, learns that they are actually a middle-class divorced couple who are looking for their son Eric, and Amanda's boyfriend Ben, who have been missing on the island for 8 weeks. Later, the group finds the parasol with Ben's corpse attached.
Poor Ben.
Poor Ben, yeah. The group takes the parasol and then encounter a raptor nest. Okay. Okay. I don't know if it's coming up here or not, but you remember the part where Billy took the egg?
Didn't he take 2 eggs?
Yeah, he took. I think it was 2. Yeah,
I think it was 2. No, it was multiple.
Yeah, here it is, right here.
He took it and put it in like his lunch bag, or something like that. And I believe he was taking it for good reason.
Really?
He was taking it to fund the research. And I know, like, it could have turned really, really bad. But, I mean, the guy was desperate. He was gonna lose what he loved to do. Yeah, he was wrong, but he was doing it for the right reasons.
Okay, let me see here. Let me see here. Sorry guys. We're just going through the plot of what we actually saw with what is happening here.
So after he takes the eggs, the raptors, because we learn, like, the whole movie is about raptors communicating.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And the kids second. But they go after him. The whole pack, I think that's what they're called.
Yeah.
The whole pack goes after them. And so instead of just a Spinosaurus going after them, it's both Spino and raptors.
Yeah.
But raptors seem to be the biggest cause of the problem.
Yeah.
And where was it? So they take... Wait, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. The boy. We gotta go to the boy.
Yeah, we gotta go to the boy.
So during one of the attacks on the raptors, Grant gets separated from the group while they're all trying to hide and run away from the raptors. The kid that they're looking for, Billy, right?
His name's Eric.
No, that's Eric. You're thinking we're wrong, Billy. But Eric, he's been surviving on Isla Sorna for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
He's been... This boy, he's a tough kid.
Yeah.
He's fighting.
It's amazing that he acts. It's amazing that he was able to survive for 8 long weeks on an island full of horrific nightmares. And that's amazing. That's amazing to me.
Yeah, and he's hiding out in this overturned something water truck.
Yeah, it's a.
Yeah, it's an old water truck that somehow stayed almost pristine.
Yeah.
And didn't collapse on itself. So he takes in Grant, and they kind of wait out like compies, and the Velociraptors run away.
Yeah.
And then eventually, after they have like a nice sit down to talk about like books, I didn't really get the conversation over books.
Yeah.
But and then they go off to find the family again.
Yeah.
And that's where things get like suspenseful.
Yeah, that's where things start to turn for the worst for our so-called heroes. Okay, so what happens after that is that we go into the raptor thing. Where Grant comes to find out that Billy took the eggs. And
well, Billy's putting up this whole big fight about it.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want him to know. Eventually he does, because Grant gets suspicious and says, "Well, open the bag." Then they find the eggs, and Billy feels guilty, and because Grant is mad at him, basically scolds him for it. Even though he had good reason, he just didn't think like in reality.
Yeah.
He was hoping that it would get their research funded for a long time after that.
Okay, but alright, so after that happens,
Well, before that happens.
Yeah. Okay.
They go into the old engine place.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that is abandoned now. And you see all these cool, like, embryos almost that are still housing old specimens.
It reminded me a little bit. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Aliens, a little bit. Kind of, sort of. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure some of you guys who have seen Aliens would probably know what I'm getting at. There is a part in Aliens where I forget which alien it was, but I know it was Aliens. There was a part in Aliens where you have a group of people going into this. There was a group of people going into this room, and it has nothing but these egg sacs everywhere and stuff like that. But it was scary. It was scary as hell. But anyway, okay, so we see later on in the movie we see them surrounded by pterodons. Okay, so yeah, pteranodons. Thank you.
Back then known as pterodactyls.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the scariest part of the movie.
Yeah. Which is
never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
It actually is the scariest part of the movie. Well, something else comes up. I forget which.
Well, I'm afraid of water. I'm underwater.
Yeah.
But that comes later.
Yeah, that comes later on. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, they find themselves in a bird cage almost.
Yeah.
Which houses the pteranodons. And
okay, so Billy rescues Eric by using Ben's parasol.
Okay, so yeah, they have to cross this broken bridge, and the kid falls through. He's like the third person to go, and he falls through. And then, Billy rescues the kid. And unfortunately...
Billy dies.
No, he doesn't.
Oh.
No. But poor Billy, though. He got swooped into the air by a pteranodon. And, did they take him to the eggs where the babies were? Or did they just poke and peck him?
I think they poked and pecked him.
Yeah, and then they dropped him on the floor, and then they continued to try to eat him. Poor Billy. Billy.
Yeah, but anyway. Okay, I wanted to make I wanted to talk about that. Go back to the egg thing.
Mm-hmm.
The egg thing with Billy. I felt
and
that
by then the eggs are safe with Grant.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I felt that he was being. You probably might think of something. You probably might think something else about this, but I thought he was being a greedy son of a bitch. That's what I thought he was being. Because
did you see how many eggs were in those nests?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did see how many eggs were in those nests. I felt like that they could have
well, now especially that they find out that the parents aren't middle class, they really need some way to fund now.
Yeah. Well, I get your point there. I just felt like there could have been a much more better way to go about that whole situation. That's how I feel.
Well, they were trying to prove that raptors could communicate, and nobody would believe them. When no one would give them money for that. Yeah. If you don't believe in it, why fund it?
Yeah.
So he really felt that it was his only option.
Yeah. That's how I feel about that whole situation. I just feel like that they could have gone about it a different way. That instead of hiding it from Alan, he could have just been straight with Grant, and that would have been the end of it. That's what I
but
felt.
Then we wouldn't have a movie because Alan would say no.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Well, I have no idea. But anyway, back to what we're doing here. Okay.
The Spinosaurus can't fit in the little engine place.
Yeah. Okay. So let me see here. Grant. Okay. So the second time we see Ellie was during the time they're on the boat.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
We gotta.
We already talked about this part already.
But yeah, so they get surrounded by raptors again after they leave poor Billy to die. They don't even care about what happens to Billy. Poor Billy. That's why I say poor Billy. But so they leave the aviary, which is where they house the pteranodons.
Yeah.
And then they.
Remember they go to the bridge, or wait, is that happens afterwards? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that night, the group retrieves a ringing phone, buried in the feces of the Spinosaurus.
The Spinosaurus ate the phone, and so the phone kept ringing inside the Spinosaurus somehow, which is not true at all. It would have dissolved. Maybe. I don't know. I think it would have just been broken.
Okay, so he tries to contact Sattler.
Jeez.
Anyway, sorry about that. I have no idea what the hell's going on out there.
There's stupid motorcycles. Alright.
Anyway, all we're hearing. Oh, sorry guys. All we're hearing outside is some guy on his motorcycle going. Mm-hmm. Anyway, okay, so he tries to contact Sattler. The Spinosaurus attacks the boat. Grant sets the boat's fuel on fire.
That's the end of the movie. They have to get the eggs back to the raptors.
Where are we at? I don't.
So they escaped the Spinosaurus.
Yeah, sorry, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
They escaped the Spinosaurus. And then the raptors surround them again the next day.
Yeah.
And that's when they used the little device that Billy made. Poor Billy. And Grant blows through it. And the raptors hear that it's the sound of their own. And they said, hey, this guy might be okay. Well, at least the main female whose the eggs belong to. And so they kind of work out this little deal where Grant puts down the bag of the eggs. And each parent, there were 2 eggs.
Yeah.
And each parent took 1.
Yeah.
And then they just left them. Which they probably wouldn't have in real life because they probably would have been hungry after the attacks and chases, and they probably just ate them. But still, happy endings with the raptors.
Yeah.
And then we get to the other Spinosaurus.
Yeah, we get to the Spinosaurus part. And you were saying that this
is scary.
Yeah,
It's
Okay, so wait a minute, that's right afterwards. The whole thing with the Spinosaurus happens before the
No, they find the ringing phone, but the Spinosaurus finds them.
Yeah, no, that's what happens before the raptors retrieve the eggs.
You sure?
Yes. It's right here, Cassie. See?
Really?
That happens before.
Then why am I remembering it after? Okay, back to the Spinosaurus anyway.
But anyway, back to
we haven't watched it. It's been a very hectic day.
Yeah, it's been a very hectic day. But anyway, the humans... Okay, so Grant and the group flee to the coast and find that Sadler had called the Marine Corps and the U.S. Navy to rescue them.
Mm-hmm. After a very suspenseful call from Alan to a little kid who's talking about the dinosaur man's on the phone while you can hear the Spinosaurus. Was he burning to death by this point?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Actually, he was actually trying to take them. He was actually trying to eat them at this point. And then
they were underwater, right?
Yeah. And then
pushing the cage down.
Paul, if you remember correctly, Paul goes up on the satellite. Goes up on the satellite thing, and he, I guess he burns him. He took a flare.
Oh.
He took a flare and he shot at the Spinosaurus.
And the gas gets on fire.
Yeah, and the gas goes on fire and it burns the Spinosaurus.
Yeah. But when we first see the Spinosaurus in this scene, there's this part where you see just the tip of the sail coming out of the water, and it slowly rises, and you can't see anything else in the water because it's just black. It's night.
Yeah. And
then you're like, whoa. You're like, that's something gigantic.
Yeah,
that's
but
not just an alligator.
Yeah, but isn't the scene, how the scene starts when we hear the phone? Because I know that's.
They have the phone already.
They have the phone. Oh.
It passed the phone a long time ago.
Oh.
It got rid of that.
I don't know. I don't remember all that much about this movie. This is one of the movies. This is one of the Jurassic Park movies that I would love to forget. Because okay, it's not for the reasons you think. It's because they made so many bad decisions.
Yeah, that's true.
They made so many bad decisions.
Obviously, it's hard to follow because we don't even know what it is.
Yeah, because it's been so long. When I was going to middle school is when the first time I saw this movie. This was 2001 when it came out.
I was just born.
Yeah, she was just. Wait, you were born in 2000.
I know.
This was like a year after you were born. You're like 1 year old. But anyway.
So, I was still born close.
Yeah, anyway. You gotta remember that this kind of, Jurassic Park wasn't that Jurassic Park 3 wasn't as well liked as I wouldn't say I would. Okay, Jurassic Park 3 wasn't really as well liked as the first film.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, even Lost World got mixed reviews from both the fans and the critics when this came out in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Just like this one did. I mean, when Lost World came out in 1997. That got panned by critics. This one got panned by critics because of the bad decisions that these people made in the film. And, you know, and we're going to talk about Jurassic World because I'm pretty sure people thought that was dumb too. But there's some stuff in Jurassic World that I loved. I don't know about you.
I don't know which part you're talking about. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that, and we'll get to that when we get to Jurassic World. Mm-hmm. But I felt like, yeah, there was so many bad decisions in this movie, in Jurassic Park 3.
You mean like movie wise, or like theoretically wise, or logically wise?
All three.
Like, okay, list a few.
I'm gonna get to that when we do Jurassic World. I'll get to that. But I'm not gonna get to that right now.
I'm talking about Jurassic Park.
Oh, Jurassic Park 3?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. The stuff with the raptors. I thought. I'm trying to remember what it. I can't remember right now.
Which scene?
Remember when he was doing the larynx thing? Mm-hmm. The raptor larynx thing? Does that make sense to you?
It didn't sound like the raptor to me. I'm like, man, if that's what makes you live, go ahead. But it wouldn't work in real life. Because it sounded nothing like it. I mean, it was a good way to try to take a jab at communication with raptors, but
yeah,
obviously Chris Pratt did that in the fourth movie.
We'll get to that later.
They were wrong. But I don't know.
Sorry, those people outside. Anyway, go ahead, Cass. I mean, Alpha.
Sounded whatever. Like it was Halloween outside.
Yeah.
But
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Let's do this.
What was I saying?
We were talking about the Raptors and the larynx thing, and you were saying that Chris Pratt, who's a Trump supporter, by the way.
What?
I was surprised. I was shocked about that when I heard about that. He's a Trump supporter.
What?
I think that I'm gonna probably get a lot of hate in this video, but you know what? I do not like Trump, so.
But
do with it what you will.
But Chris Pratt's such a good guy.
Well,
let's not talk about it.
Anyway, yeah, let's not talk about it because I don't want shit with people on my channel. But, but anyway, yeah, the whole larynx thing with the Raptors didn't really make sense to me.
Like gone was there one minute and gone the next.
Yeah. And then there was a couple of other things that I forget. I had forgotten. I've forgotten half this movie.
I remember the cool parts.
Yeah, I remember this. I remember the Spinosaurus. I remember the Spinosaurus. The parts with that. I remember the T-Rex getting killed by the Spinosaurus.
Which is very untrue. The Spinosaurus in the whole movie was very untrue.
Yeah.
Untrue to life.
We had already talked about the Billy situation with the raptor eggs.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. When they called the military, that's why Billy didn't die. They found him before somehow, and so he's being treated in the helicopter.
Yeah.
So Billy lives.
Yeah.
And he lives to do paleontology another day.
Yeah. Well, would he come back? Would he come back to Jurassic Park?
Probably not.
Probably not.
You know
I don't
what?
think Grant would.
He did say. Wait, didn't he? Maybe that was me. I don't know. Never mind. I'm not even gonna say it.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Say what's on your mind.
Because I don't even know if he said it. Maybe that was me. I can't even remember it. Like touching the actually being there and touching the dinosaurs. Maybe he didn't say that.
He probably did.
I don't know.
I would like to think that he did, but I don't know. It's been a while since me and her watched the movie.
I wish we could have seen Billy in the fourth one.
Yeah.
Poor Billy.
We'll talk about that later. But anyway, You got any final thoughts on this movie?
The Spinosaurus.
The Spinosaurus?
We already covered that the raptors aren't real raptors. But I did like how they kept them in a pack. And you didn't really see many flaws besides that they weren't real raptors.
Yeah.
But the Spinosaurus had stumpy little legs. Never really would have gone inland because they were mostly like water predators.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why they had the webbed feet. And I don't think this Spinosaurus had webbed feet.
Probably did. I don't remember all that much.
I don't remember.
But, yeah. What would you give this?
6.5 out of 10.
6.5 out of 10.
It was... I like to see the Spinosaurus, but they did it all wrong.
Yeah, I think me and her would agree.
And the Spinosaurus is not bigger than the T-Rex.
Yeah. I think me and my niece would agree that this movie deserves a huge 6.5 out of 10. There were so many problems with this film that I don't know how they were able to, how this film even was made. Like this changed when this movie came out. This changed a whole hell of a lot than for the worse than the other two movies. But there was some good qualities. There was some good qualities for the film, I would like to say. But even still, I think that Jurassic Park 3 was they could have made better choices though in this one, in Jurassic Park 3. But I don't know, what do y'all guys think? Let us know in the comments down below what y'all guys think about this. That's gonna be it for me. I am, as always, Mr. Grimreaper 512. She's Alpha Wolf, and we will both see you on the afterlife. Peace.